Yeah, a very big welcome to you, my dear Scorpio. The sun is now in Aries. And Aries is, of course, the emperor that is looking from above down to us, right? Because he's connected with the brain. And so he is the leader, he is the one that takes charge, that leads people, and very much he looks like Moses, right? And so this is quite a biblical figure here. And so the sun in Aries is giving now the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And here we see a bird that is looking directly at the emperor. But most important is that we see the eye in the center of the card, meaning the soul is in the eye. The soul is what can see the next life, right? And so here we have the 4 and the 13, and the 13 is connected with the Wheel of Fortune, the number 10 is spinning, and of course the 3 in there is the Empress. And so when we calculate that together, we get the 4-4 portal. And it's very interesting to watch when these kind of situations happen, right? It's just here, he is the 4, right? He has no other choice. You can be a 10 and a 3 and combine it and actually then make a 4 out of it. And so you will feel deep in your subconscious now the influence of Aries, which is giving the light to the moon. And so we see a combination here of fire and deep waters because you're the deep ocean. Now, Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars is that energy that says, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to take care of business, right? I even fight for it. That's what Mars is all about. And you are ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is, of course, the mystic, are the secrets and the depth, right? What death is all about, right? No one can come back really and say, well, this is what happens, right? But with all the near-death experiences that we are seeing now, we do know what we can see in the afterlife, right? Because people have come back and told about it. And of course, people are like, well, we're not sure if we can trust this. But the overwhelming same story, right? The light and the love that they felt there and the realness that they felt there is clear when it is always the same, right? Million times the same, then it is a law, right? So here we have Aries and, of course, you, Scorpio, coming together. The yoga position for Aries is a meditation because he's the brain. And we see here, of course, he looks in all 4 directions and he understands deep within, he understands that there is the inner consciousness, right? That is really important for him. For you, I have Scorpio pose, of course, and so you liberating yourself by bringing your feet above your head, above the thinking, and it's like opening, it's a back bend, it's opening your hips and you're thrusting your sexuality out there, and that's what your body part is, right? Your sex organs. So here, this just the story of the sun and moon, which happens only once a year. And if we include all the other planets, then this moment happens really only once in your life. You are here in Hermann Handel, the tarot that I gave you, Odin. Odin is pointing down at the rune alphabet. He is a very powerful sorcerer. He is the one that has seen in 9 days hanging upside down the language, right? The first kind of language in the Nordic stories. So if your birthday is between October 13 and November 12, then this is your court card. You are the 8th house of transformation and secrets. Here you are, right, with the whale, because the whale is one of those animals that goes the deepest in the ocean. And you are deep in the ocean, right? You are not at the shore, right? You are in the deep, deep oceans. And that's why you are the mysterious one, right? You're always mysterious. The mystic comes from you, right? And you love, the deeper the information is, the more you like feel at home. Back to the last reading where you had Pisces Sun giving Scorpio Moon the light. 4 times 9. Your heart's deepest wishes are being fulfilled now. And so there was a wish granted energy. There are the 9 of Pentacles and also the 9 of Swords and the 9 of Cups. Very powerful, right? And 9, the Hermit. So you are realizing something, right? You are going deeper, and it's important to include that because everything is cyclical. Now, Mars is also ruling the Tower. So we're going to look this month into the Tower, and this is going to be the overall theme. And we are going to pick from the Tower. Here we see when everything crashes, we have a light. We have deep within us always a light. No matter what's happening, we can rely on that light. And so I'm going to see what animal spirit wants to talk to you here. I have listed all the decks that I'm using on their position and what the position means in my description, also the dates of all the court cards, because they differ from the major arcana cards, right, that are also arranged in such a way that they are connected with the zodiac signs. And so we're going to see here you have the fire ant coming up. And like it says, fire ants, that's of course fire. And like it says, fire ants are connected with the element fire. And there is a focus, there is a target. The same way we have the eye in the center of your card, it means you know that in the eye is the seat of the soul, and something here is getting to you, right? Because the Tower is a crash, the Tower is a realization, is a crisis moment, and the crisis moment is bringing you the fire ants. And so I'm just gonna read to you what the fire ant is bringing you. And there are no numbers here, right? But this is the first card. Aggression, rigid thinking, following orders. Fire ant energy flares up without us noticing. It's the force that attracts us to people and situations that feed our imbalances rather than those that counter them. Gossiping and blaming are a few indicators that misaligned fire ant energy is at play. You may also find yourself stewing on a person or situation, only making things worse. How can you break free from the drama and cool down? Fire ants are surprisingly sensitive. Don't pretend the heat isn't getting to you. When in balance, thoughtful and disciplined. When out of balance, argues, excess heat, gossips. To bring into balance, solo time, walks at night. Interesting, right? Okay, so this is the Animal Spirit Guidebook. You can look below, I have listed all of them. Okay, so the Tower, Mars, right? And now the fire, and it's like something is in your focus. Something is, in a way, very interesting. You see all these flags here in this tower. And it's kind of interesting because all these ants, it's like we're seeing our perspective from above, from an eagle perspective. And here we see it from the front. And now we see it from above. There is something that is really here, this focus, that you need to let go. Because the 16, again, the 10, the Wheel of Fortune in here, everything changes, nothing stays fixed. And the 6, the self-love, creates then the 7. And the 7 is the emotional intelligence that we get when we let go and not focus on something that is bothering us. Focus on something that is actually making you happy. Because when we continue now the reading on the position of the Fool, you get the 10 of Swords. Look at that. So the 10 of Swords then brings you a deeper understanding of you need to let go, because it's the first animal in the fire element. So there is a 1, right? And there is a 10 now, and a 10 and a 0 is 100. And so this is multiplying what's happening here. Your mind is literally so focused on what happened here that you are creating a pattern, and it's difficult for you to break out of that pattern. And it's really interesting here. I see the first time that there's a circle around here, this blue flower with the red little dot. And then we have red flowers with a yellow dot inside, right? And we have 1, 2, 3. And here we have 3 like this. So it's letting you know you can liberate yourself, and it's the end of a situation. Because it's that after the 10, it's like, that's it. You are done with this, right? You are really done, because the 10 of Swords is Sun and Gemini. And so you're going out to the full moon. You're going out to a realization. Last time you had a wish granted, and your heart's deepest wishes are being fulfilled. And now this is happening, right? And now you are awakening to this kind of situation, and it's like, what's going on? And as I said, there is 100 now with the 0 of the Fool, and the Fool is Uranus, a new beginning, a revolution where you are awakening to a change. You need to change something because it's affecting you. And then, of course, on the position of the Magician, so this idea, right? The Fool is this crazy idea where you really give up. You really mentally say, okay, I cannot do this anymore. This is making me, I give up, and you really are on the floor, right? It's kind of like this mental breakdown. And so here comes the stuff, and the Magician is then an inspiration through this beautiful giraffe, right? And the stuff is a sign of power, like Moses. And he is holding himself here also on the staff with the Ankh. And you have here the 51, so you have here Taurus in it. That's where you get the full moon light from, when the sun is in Taurus, is giving the light then to your moon in Scorpio. And the Magician here. So you have a 6 plus the 1 of the Magician, a 7. And the 7 here again with the Tower is like the emotional intelligence comes when you have your full moon. Then this is like, okay, I do not think in this kind of patterns anymore. Here I create a beautiful pattern, right? It's like, okay, it's beautiful, but sometimes in these beautiful patterns we're trapped, and it's something needs to go, right? And this is the inspiration. The stuff is bringing you the inspiration to let go, because The Magician is Mercury, and Mercury brings the information, and I want to know what information do you get, and you get here Cancer. Cancer to the left in this healing, and Cancer here, she is of course the Priestess of Cups, and so she is giving you the healing waters, and this is what Taurus is gonna let you know. You need to go into the water. When you get this kind of energies, the ants and this 10 of Swords, it's like you need to go into healing water. You need to really learn how to control the energies in you. Because, I mean, that's why you choose to be a Scorpio in this life. Or someone chooses to be a Virgo or a Libra or a Cancer. Because through that element, they learn what that element does to them. And now you get a Cancer coming, and she is also water like you. You're in the deep ocean. She's at the shore, and she can look at the deep ocean, and she has here a whale coming to her as well. So include the healing energy of a Cancer into your life. Go to a healer that is helping you to heal what is happening here. And she is, of course, the 4th house of home and relationship and friendships. And so here we have the 7 and the 4. We get the 11. The inner teacher appears and helps you to calm down, helps you to understand this situation. Whatever this situation is of letting go in the emotional intelligence that is following, do it. It's important. Because then on the position of the High Priestess, we get the 9 of Wands. Plus the 2 of the Empress, of the High Priestess, we get, again, the inner teacher, the 11. And the 11 very clearly always is a portal, and the 11 is helping you to see that you can heal, that you can use any help with the 10 of Swords. But the 9 of Wands is Moon in Sagittarius. And here you have the inner strength, here you have the courage to overcome with 9 actions. You overcome 10 thoughts. Do. Active. Do. And do act on your intuition. Because then the inner teacher comes and helps you. And this is also a wand. A staff, right? It's a wand. So, you know, where you have 10. Or with the 6 and here the 9, you have the 15 in your work, in your career. You need to learn not to get attached or to be cut off from source. Very important. That's why the inner teacher is coming here. So this is Moon in Sagittarius, right? So be careful, observe, watch, notice what's happening. On the position of the Empress, which is then the giving birth to a new idea, and here comes Cancer as a major arcana. You had Cancer as court card, and so you have a Cancer that is helping you to heal. And it's important that you recognize that. It's important that you see here the 3 and the 7 is a 10. And then you come into a completion. And the water can heal the mental aspect here. So the 10 here. And of course the 10 wands here, because 1 wand and 9 wands, right? And then here a 10 with the Empress, where you bring the emotional intelligence into your life and understand that you need to heal yourself. Only you can do something about what it is that you feel deep within that you need to act upon. Very important that you understand that, because the Empress is love and beauty, and here comes the emotional intelligence to do so. On the position of Aries, Aries is then bringing you the Two of Cups, Venus in Cancer. You see, so Cancer came up as a major arcana, but also as a court card. And so now you get the Two of Cups, which is a relationship, which is understanding the masculine and the feminine, is uniting the dualities. And in that comes the liberation and the Leo, you see? And so the 4 and the 2 is a 6. Then there comes self-love by uniting the white and the blacks the same way Cancer does that. And that's what is left when the tower comes down, the 16. It means the 7 is left. And the 7 is then here, the 7-7, the emotional intelligence to overcome this kind of negative focus, this kind of gossip, this kind of attack. And the self-love here with the 6, Aries, even though Aries is bringing you this attack, in the antidote, right? It's kind of like the person that brings you the attack brings you at the same time also the healing. And the healing is to unite the dualities. Very clear. Be always careful, because you are in your own deck the Emperor that is standing here completely naked in front of the tree, and he is strong, he is powerful, he is beautiful here. You know, I like this one better than this one. He is a little... Then on the position of the King of Cups, which is Odin, comes here Libra. Libra here in this deck is the number 11, in some it's the 8. And the 11, the inner teacher appears. And here is the 8, house of secrets and transformation. And so here we have a date, the 11th 8 or the 8-11. You can pick which one is really for you, the one that you feel is right. August 11 or November 8. And so the healing comes in bringing the Two of Cups into an equilibrium, your life, your mental life, because you have here 10 swords and you have here 11 through Libra. Through justice. Justice comes when you bring yourself into an equilibrium. Otherwise, you got this. And an equilibrium is important. And Odin is pointing at that. And he's saying, go into your equilibrium. Very important. And what is beautiful here, we have 8 eyes of the peacock. And so the 8 is in there, but it's the 11. So Odin is pointing at the 11 and saying, find your inner teacher, find your equilibrium through masculine and feminine, fire and water. It's important because that's how you can heal. And then on the position of Scorpio comes here the 4 of stones. And the 4 of stones is connected with Sun in Capricorn. And the Sun in Capricorn is letting you know that you need to understand Capricorn. You need to understand that the stability that we gain through work, through our career, working with the material world is important, is bringing you an empowerment here in this dimension. And of course, this is Aries, the 4, right? Coming to you, the 4 here as the Emperor, the 4, then you come into a stability. And in that stability, you see the 13 and the 4 becomes the 17, and that's the star, that's Aquarius. And the interesting thing is that Pluto is going to be 20 years in Aquarius. Your planet that is ruling you is now in Aquarius, going back quickly into Capricorn, right? And for 2 months or something like that. And then it stays for 20 years, from November on, for 20 years. So you understand that this is something that you need to really consider it, right? Because the 17 is the star. The 17 then turns into an 8, and the 8 is again your 8th house of transformation and also the secrets that you're seeking. And you're finding the secrets, you're finding the equilibrium, the harmony that balance brings, right? That Libra brings. And so the 17 turns into the 8, and the 8 then again is you, the 8th house. Learn to be content in your own house. On the position of the moon, we have then here this cactus, the horned cactus, the resourcefulness, and it's the 29, which then creates, of course, the 11. The inner teacher appears again. So the high priestess and the hermit, which came last reading, right? The hermit, 4 times the 9. You understood that there is something deep within us that we need to embed and that we need to live. And then the inner teacher appears, the 11. Very clear, right? There is really, if we kind of put this together, the 11 and the 10 of swords, right? Because this is also swords, then we have the number 21, and that's the world. The world is in an overload of information, and a lot of injustice is happening. And so you need to look deeper and see what's happening. And you need to understand that you have, like the cactus deep within, the resources, the knowledge. And so the 9 and the 11 is a 9-11 or the 11-9. And so see that, understand that, recognize that, because here with the resourcefulness comes the 9 of Pentacles, and you had the 4 of Pentacles and the 9. Again, the 11 appears. In the finances, if you become resourceful, if you rely upon what you have deep within you, you will always succeed. If you trust a higher force, if you trust what's happening in your life and that you listen to that, then you are pregnant with information, then you can continue to grow. And the 11 is then here, the inner teacher on a physical level is appearing and is giving you everything you need. And so here the 9-11, right? The 9 and the 7 is the 16, and the 16 is the tower, is the emotional intelligence, is bringing you this understanding, right? That you have, like the cactus, the resourcefulness to know how to work, how to put energies together. And the 11 here comes with the stones, with the pentagram, with the money, with the finances. And on the position of the sun, then comes here the deep lake. And the deep lake is the number 31, going deep down, like you with the ocean go deep down in a lake, deep down in the ocean. And so we have the 31, which is of course the Empress plus the Magician, creates again the Emperor. And we have here the 19, and the 19 then calculated together we get the 10. So the sun is bringing you cool off, go deep within, see that the ants, right, that are coming, see that this moment that has come through Mars, through the sun, that you can cool off. Like I said, that's what Cancer is bringing you, right? Cancer is letting you know, cool off. Cancer is letting you know, cool off, go deep, go into the ocean. That's where you understand that you do not need to fight about things, right? And so the 10 and the 4 is the 14, which is temperance. Temperance is coming into an equilibrium, into a harmony. Temperance is also here the 2 of cups, right? Temperance is pouring back and forth, the 2 cups. And so the 5 appears. The 5 is, of course, then the 5 senses, the understanding that everything is a test here in this dimension. And then I wanted to see, what do you understand when you dive deep down? And the 2 of Cups is coming again. So you have 2 times the 2 of Cups. Very beautiful. There is a self-love then appearing. There is an understanding that you already understood here, that when you love yourself, when you go deep into the ocean, into your element, and learn here to be with someone and let them just be the way they are, and then they can let you be the way you are, then the healing is coming, right? And the 5 and the 2 is the 7, then the emotional intelligence is appearing. Then the ants have no way to attack you. Then you are really happy, really excited in the ocean, in the calm, and you understand that that's the healing. That's what we're doing. And then on the position of the universe comes Leo, the King of Wands. And of course, he is the 5th house of joy and fun. And you see the fire, and you see the dragon with the fire, and you see that then you can understand that the 21 turns into a 3, and the 5 is an 8, and the 8 again is the 8th house of really understanding the transformation, understanding that everything has a moment, and that this focus has brought you into a deeper healing, that any crisis, that any negativity is a chance to go into a deeper healing. And of course, if we not listen, then it becomes a focus that makes us, of course, get sick. And any sickness is a sign that something is not in an equilibrium. And so here the 8 is saying, go deep into your secrets, into your transformation, the same way you go deep here in the lake, and learn from what it is now that you want to bring into this world, because the path is paved for you, right? To go and go to your full moon, because that's what happens in the next month. You're going to go to your full moon, and I hope you understand that this energy that came up here, this emotional intelligence that came up here, is teaching you now to be with yourself within your own house, within the 8, and learn your lessons, and learn that everything has a moment of being in a deep self-love, right? And this is what's coming up here. And then you can take that path to the full moon in a fun way, in a joyous way, because that's what the 5th house of Leo does, right? It's like, have fun, enjoy your life, and let go of this, right? Let go of this as well. And also let go of this. It's letting go. It's arriving. And so this is the message from Aries, from Mars, right? Meditate and let go, right? Let go of your mind that thinks that knows the answer. But no, you are just in a circle, and you need to awaken to your emotional intelligence. I hope I see you in the next one. That's when we get Taurus energy. And of course, Taurus is here, Saturn in Taurus, right? Saturn in Taurus is letting you know you worked hard, so now you can enjoy the full moon in the next reading. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.